459, 460, 464, 465, 466, 468, and 469. Sincerely, Brad Little, Governor of Idaho. From the Senate, April 3rd, 2025. Mr. Speaker, I return herewith enrolled House Bills 180 as amended in the Senate, 253 as amended in the Senate, 130 as amended in the Senate, 355 as amended in the Senate, 248, House Joint Memorial 8, House Bills 436, 476, 477, 480, 481, and 479, which have been signed by the President Novak, Secretary of the Senate.
House Bill 180 is amended in the Senate, 253 is amended in the Senate, 130 is amended in the Senate, 355 is amended in the Senate, 248, 436, 476, 477, 480, 481, and 479 refer to Judiciary Rules and Administration Committee for delivery to the Governor. House Joint Memorial 8 will be delivered to the Judiciary Rules and Administration Committee for delivery to the Secretary of State.
April 3rd, 2025. Mr. Speaker, I return herewith House Bills 455, 482, 483, and 484, which have passed the Senate. Novak, Secretary of the Senate.
House Bill 455, 482, 483, and 484 refer to Judiciary Rules and Administration Committee for enrolling. The House will now advance to fifth order of business. Report of standing committees. House at fifth order of business.
In the House of Representatives, April 4th, 2025. Mr. Speaker, we, your Committee on Judiciary Rules and Administration, report that we have enrolled House Bills 455, 482, 483, and 484. SCOG, Chairman.
House Bill 455, 482, 483, and 484 will be signed by the Speaker and returned to the Senate for the signature of the Senate President.
April 4th, 2025. Mr. Speaker, we, your Committee on State Affairs, report that we have had under consideration Senate Bill 1210 as amended and report it back to be placed on general orders. Crane, Chairman.
House Bill 1210 will be placed on general orders. Without objection, the House now advances to 10th order of business. Second reading, joint resolutions and bills. The House is at 10th order of business.
April 4th, 2025, House Bill 356 as amended in the Senate by State Affairs Committee regarding state assets.
House Bill 3, just a second. Third reading. House Bill 356 amended in the Senate will be filed with the third reading calendar. Without objection, the House now returns to seventh order of business. Motion, memorials, and resolutions. The House at seventh order of business. Gentleman 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Privilege in a motion.
Gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Dear ladies and gentlemen, you see you've got a second reading calendar here. We want to go ahead and pick that bill up at this point, and then we'll have to do some more sitting around and waiting and such as well. But at this point, Mr. Speaker, I move that all rules interfering with the immediate consideration of House Bill 356 as amended in the Senate be suspended, making it possible for the immediate consideration of House Bill 356 as amended in the Senate.
Late 18.
I second the motion.
Lady, you've heard the motion. It's not a debatable motion. Requires 2/3 of the body or 47 votes to pass. Clerk will unlock. Clerk will unlock the machine. Members will cast their votes. Has everyone voted? Has anyone changed their vote? Clerk will lock the machine and record the roll. 61 ayes, 9 absent, excused. More than 2/3 of the body having voted in favor of the motion. The motion passes, and the House will have a consideration. House Bill 356 is amended in the Senate. Good gentleman 14.
Mr. Speaker, request unanimous consent to cease further reading of 356.
Now consent requested. Is there objection? Hearing none, gentleman has the floor.
Well, this bill, talking about nefarious players, I've said this before on the floor, the Chinese Communist Party is our enemy. They are at war with us in every domain except bullets and bombs. I've said that many times. They will disrupt us and do everything they can to destroy us, and I've said that passionately over the last 2 years. But what this bill does is it allows us to go after foreign adversaries, and that's defined as China, Russia, Iran, Cuba, and North Korea. They can't own any farmland, agricultural land, water rights, or mining rights in Idaho. If they do, we will foreclose upon that. They have to sell within 180 days or we will foreclose. Real simple message. We want sovereignty over our food supply and over our resources. We want them out of Idaho. Next part of the bill, if you recall, you saw the map. It was the coordinates that showed the military operations area in southwest Idaho. It's one of the most important operations areas we have. It's become extremely important lately as technologies have expanded. It's one of the best ranges we have in the country. I fly across the country. I've done these everywhere. It's one of the best pieces of land that we have. it's important we protect that, in particular against espionage and surveillance. What these nefarious players, they will actually be in position to surveil, extract, exploit, and we need to keep them off that land. So what this bill will do is if any foreign adversaries owns any land or any footprint at all in this area, they were required to sell within 180 days or we will foreclose. Again, we'll keep this clear. It's important. We got a lot of buy-in with your committee and everything. We had testifiers from the military. It's really important. I use the example that we had down in Nevada. We had a Chinese operation right in the center of our area in Top Gun range, monitored us for 5 years before we knew it. They had a surveillance piece right in the middle of our top secret range. So you need to be very, very methodical and precise to try to keep this espionage out of your area. Well, bottom line, this is sovereignty on our food supply and security. Senator Crapo is working with Senator Cummings, and they're working on a bill right now. It's similar to this as from the federal side. So he's doing this, and I've spoken to him on the phone. It's a parallel effort. They're doing it from the federal side of what they do with federal land and adjacent to that. So this is a cohesive effort across the state. This is about Idaho security, national security, and this is the part I really like. It's America first. And this is a really good bill, good unity for us, all coming together. Keep Idaho safe, America first. This is a great way to finish out this session. Please vote green.
Heard the motions. Further debate on the motion. Hearing none, hearing no negative debate, debate is closed. Question is House Bill 356, amend the Senate, pass the House. Clerk will not sheet. Members will cast their votes. Has every member voted? Tanner 14. Does any members change their vote? Clerk will lock sheet and record the roll. 64 ayes, 6 absent and excused. Majority having voted in favor of House Bill 356, amended the Senate. House Bill 356, amended the Senate, is passed the House. Is there correction to title?
No correction to title.
Hearing none, title approved. Bill will be transmitted. Don't be sent to. Got it. It was sent to Judiciary Rules Administration Committee from Roland. The House will now, without objection, advance to the 15th order of business announcements. Are there any announcements before we go at ease for a few minutes? Hearing none, we have to wait for an amendment to come up and a couple of other things. So the House will be at ease, subject to call the chair. Please stay closed.
We're going to pause.
The fourth order of business, consideration of the message from the governor and Senate House of fourth order.
From the Senate, April 4th, 2025. Mr. Speaker, I transmit herewith enrolled Senate Bills 1180, 1181, 1213, 1214, 1215, Senate Joint Memorial 105, Senate Bills 1216, 1211, 1217, 1218, 1219, 1220, 1142 as amended in the House, and 1198 as amended in the House for the signature of the Speaker, Novak, Secretary of the Senate.
Senate Bill 1180, 1181, 1213, 1214, 1215, Senate Joint Memorial 105, Senate Bill 1216, 1211, 1217, 1218, 1219, 1220, and Senate Bill 1142 is amended in the House and 1198 is amended in the House. We signed by the Speaker and returned to the Senate. House will now advance fifth order of business. Report of standing committees.
In the House of Representatives, April 4th, 2025, Mr. Speaker, we, your Committee on Judiciary Rules and Administration, report that we have enrolled House Bill 356 as amended in the Senate. SCOG Chairman.
House Bill 356 is amended in the Senate. Be signed by the Speaker and returned to the Senate.
Mr. Speaker, we, your Committee on Judiciary Rules and Administration, report that we have transmitted and enrolled House Bills 180 as amended in the Senate, 253 as amended in the Senate, 130 as amended in the Senate, 355 as amended in the Senate, 248, 436, 476, 477, 480, 481, and 479 to the Governor at 10:36 a.m. as of this date, April 4th, 2025. SCOG Chairman. Mr. Speaker, we, your Committee on Judiciary Rules and Administration, report that we have transmitted and enrolled House Joint Memorial 8 to the Secretary of State at 10:38 a.m. April 4th, 2025. SCOG Chairman.
Without objection, the House advances the eighth order of business. Introduction, first reading, reference bills, joint resolutions, House of eighth order.
In the House of Representatives, House Bill 488 by Ehart, an act relating to annexation by cities, amending Section 5222 Idaho Code to revise provisions regarding annexation by cities and declaring an emergency and providing an effective date.
House Bill 488 referred to Judiciary Rules Administration Committee for printing. Without objection, the House now advanced 15th order of business announcements. Are there any announcements? Hearing none, we'll go at ease again. Subject called chair.
Well, isn't that interesting? Let's see. Let's make sure we got this over here. What's the interaction? It could be you. This is the second half. This is a new. Ooh, calling everybody back, huh? Okay, there's Monks and who else?
Secretary will read the resolution. In the Senate, concurrent resolution 113 by State Affairs Committee. A concurrent resolution stating findings of
Yeah, I'm going to go pause.
Now return to the fourth order of business. Consideration of message from the Governor of the Senate. The House at the fourth order of business.
From the Senate, April 4th, 2025, Mr. Speaker, I return herewith enrolled House Bills 455, 482, 483, 484, and 356 as amended in the Senate, which have been signed by the President Novak, Secretary of the Senate.
House Bill 455, 482, 483, 484, and 356 is amended in the Senate. Will refer to the Judiciary Rules and Administration Committee for delivery to the Governor.
April 4th, 2025, Mr. Speaker, I transmit herewith Senate Concurrent Resolution 113, which has passed the Senate. Novak, Secretary of the Senate.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 113, we filed the first reading calendar. The House now advance the fifth order of business. Report of standing committees. House at the fifth order of business.
In the House of Representatives, April 4th, 2025, Mr. Speaker, we, your Committee on Judiciary Rules and Administration, report that we have printed House Bill 488. SCOG Chairman.
House Bill 488 was filed in the office of the Chief Clerk. Without objection, the House now advance to the seventh order of business. Motions, more resolutions, House at the seventh order of business.
From the Senate, Senate Concurrent Resolution 113 by State Affairs Committee, a concurrent resolution stating findings of the legislature and approving all temporary and pending rules submitted to the legislature for review during the 2025 legislative session with exceptions.
Second concurrent resolution 113 be filed with second reading calendar. Without objection, the House now advances to the 12th order of business, consideration of general orders. The House at 12th order, the gentleman 12. Gentleman 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House do now resolve itself into the committee of whole for the consideration of general orders.
Late from 18.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Thank you, good lady. You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion passes, and the House is now resolved in the committee of the whole. Will the good gentleman from 14 come forward?
Hardware and closed captioning for Idaho House Session is provided by the Idaho Legislature and the Idaho Legislative Services Office. Additional funding is provided by the Idaho Public Television Endowment. You're watching the Idaho Senate.
The committee of whole will be in order. The clerk will read from the general orders calendar.
April 4th, 2025, House Joint Memorial 2 by Environment, Energy, and Technology Committee regarding energy, House Bill 387 by State Affairs Committee regarding windmill bonding, Senate Bill 1066 as amended by Commerce and Human Resources Committee regarding identity theft, House Bill 437 by Revenue and Taxation Committee regarding community infrastructure districts, House Concurrent Resolution 19 by State Affairs Committee regarding electricity study, House Bill 379 by State Affairs Committee regarding transparency and state official travel, Senate Bill 1210 as amended by Judiciary and Rules Committee regarding Idaho Medical Freedom Act.
Committee will now have under consideration Senate Bill. Yes, good gentleman from 22, apologize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask unanimous consent that Senate Bill number 1210 as amended be placed at the top of the third reading calendar. At the top of the general orders calendar. Sorry, we're not in third reading.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
Heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Good gentleman from 22. Nope. The committee will now have under consideration Senate Bill 1210 as amended. Are there amendments to Section 3?
Yes, it has been moved by Representative Beiswinger, seconded by Representative Bruce, that the amendment to Section 3 be adopted.
If there are no objections, the amendment to Section 3 will be considered read. The chair recognizes the representative from District 8 to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few things we hashed out here at the last minute. Sorry to keep everybody waiting. You'll see they're pretty simple, straightforward. They're mostly attempts to, there's one comma that's get added in, which we talked about before. This is the same bill essentially we did a few days ago. Also,
Good gentlemen, we are only going to be dealing with the amendment to Section 3 right now.
oh, I'm sorry. Just do one amendment, it's not, okay. My apologies. So we're gonna start with, on page 2, the engrossed bill, line 10, we're gonna insert a comma following the word drug, and that's the amendment to Section 3.
Thank you, good gentlemen. Is there any further debate in favor of the amendment? Any in opposition to the amendment? Hearing none, the debate is closed. The question is, shall amendment to Section 3 be adopted? All those in favor say by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion is carried and amendment to Section 3 adopted. Are there amendments to Section 4?
Yes, it has been moved by Representative Beiswinger, seconded by Representative Bruce, that the amendment to Section 4 be adopted.
If there are no objections, the amendment to Section 4 will be considered read. The chair recognizes the representative from District 8 to open debate.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To Section 4, this one was an attempt to sync current code with what the bill does. There's a little bit of conflict, and I think created some of the confusion between the man on the second floor and the bill here. So we're going to insert some definitions and such for private and parochial schools and make sure they believe they were excluded from the bill initially, so that's getting cleaned up. And then also, let's see. Yeah, and then also that they're not going to have any rules placed after the bill that would conflict with the amended law here. So we're just getting a handle on a couple of things here that got left out.
Okay, gentlemen, is there any further debate in favor of the motion? Any in opposition of the motion? Hearing none, the question is shall the amendments to section 4 be adopted? All those in favor say by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion is carried and the amendment to section 4 is adopted. Is there a correction in title?
Yes, it has been moved by Representative Beiswinger, seconded by Representative Bruce, that the title be corrected.
There are no other objections. The correction title for the Senate Bill 1210 as amended will be considered read. You've heard the motion for correction title. All those in favor state by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is carried and the correction title is adopted. The committee will now have under consideration Senate Bill 1210 as amended. Are there amendments to the bill?
Yes, it has been moved by Representative Mickelson, seconded by Representative Garner, that the amendment to the bill be adopted.
There are no objections. The bill will be considered read. The chair recognizes the representative from District 28 to open debate.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Gentleman for 6.
Representative Mickelson is not here. I don't know if that's allowed for her to make the motion if she's not here.
Good Representative, the bill's, the gentleman that seconded is actually present, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment is to section 5. It adds a new section that has a little words, some words added to it that basically says that if an employee of a private business is offered medical intervention or is asked about medical intervention and they decide not to have it, that the liability of the injury from that medical exception will be
Mr. Chairman, could you put the committee at ease for just a second? We can work out this issue of the motion being made by Representative Mickelson, but she is vacant.
Yes. Gentlemen, the committee as a whole will be at ease.
Powwow. Isn't this interesting? Well, I've got to get it straight. One guy's biting his fingernails. Mr. Moyler has 28 years. Mr. Monks has 18 years in one of the legislator seats. It's too long, in my opinion. Way too long. Corporations don't even allow their executives to stay in office that long.
The committee as a whole will be back in order. Let's try this again. The committee will now have under consideration Senate Bill 1210 as amended. Are there amendments to the bill?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we amend section 5 of the bill.
Second?
You've heard that you moved the bill as amended.
Yes.
Okay. The bill has been moved by Representative Gardner, seconded by Representative McCann. The chair recognizes the representative from 28 to open debate.
Thank you, Chairman. This amendment is to section 5. It adds new verbiage to it that would basically say that if an employee refused to get medical treatment or imminent treatment, the employer would not be held liable for any injuries that occurred to that, such as If he comes in, he's obviously has a fever and stumbling around. You say, hey, I think you ought to go get checked out, and he refuses. He climbs up on a ladder and falls off. Then the employee or the employer compensation. Anyway, the employer can't be sued or held liable for that. With that, I appreciate your consideration of this amendment. Thank you, sir.
Good gentlemen. Is there any further debate in favor of
It's
the
anti-vax. Why even have an amendment?
Good gentleman? Good lady from 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would stand in support that we talked about that we need to have some kind of defining where if a person is very, very ill, they're come to work, they won't leave, and you've asked
Why are
them
you
to,
guys even messing
to go
with
get
medical things
a
with that?
diagnosis, go get checked out.
Why are you passing legislation that has to do with
this may
that?
not be, we didn't have a lot of time, as everyone knows, this came up very quickly, but this
this
does
came
give
out of
some
Alec,
protection
probably.
that an employer can ask the employee to leave
This
if
is
they're
all
sick
about
and
COVID
not to spread.
I don't want to take a
their-
vaccine because
their,
it gives me
challenge, their cold,
ADHD.
whatever they have,
Or
whatever
Bill Gates
might be out there,
has
this
the,
does give some protections to our
be a
employers.
chip in my
without
arm.
making them take a shot or making them
Oh, my
do
goodness.
anything, but it's
Putting
the
everybody at
choice
risk in
of
any
the
business
employee
because
to
COVID had
choose
a
not to
14-day
take any
incubation
medical
period. You could have
interventions.
the virus
So therefore,
for
I
14
I
days
stand
and
in
nobody would
favor
know
and
it.
ask for a green light.
And that's what killed so many
Good
people.
lady, is there any further
1.2
debate in
million
favor of the
Americans.
amendment? Hearing none, is there any debate against the amendment? The gentleman from 13.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, this is a hostile amendment. I will say that the good senator, the good representative in the governor's office have worked extremely hard in this particular piece of legislation. And every amendment that was added to it, we made sure that the sponsor in the
Yeah,
House,
you
the
guys
sponsor,
working
Senate,
with the
and
governor?
were on
I
board.
thought you were a
I
legislature
met
to
with the
think for
governor's office this
yourself.
morning about this very issue, and they have not weighed in whatsoever. And we had an ironclad agreement that if we were going to amend this bill, we were only going to do what those 3 people agreed to. And so this is a hostile amendment. The second thing is what they're talking about is
You
should
need
be
to
in
go
the
away,
comp
sir.
section of law.
The cranes
not
and the
in
cranes and the
Medical Freedom
cranes.
Act. So that can be addressed in a different section of law. This is a hostile amendment and could potentially take down this bill, and so I'd ask that you vote against the amendment.
Thank you, good gentleman. I believe the good representative from District 15 actually was planning to debate against,
No, I
or you did in favor?
gave in favor very
Okay.
quickly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to point out before we vote on this that the preamble of the 2024 Idaho Republican Party platform talks about honoring the responsibility of every individual. This amendment is inconsistent with people taking the responsibility and honoring the responsibilities that they have for their actions. Thank you.
Good gentlemen, is there any further debate against the amendment? Hearing none, the debate is closed. The question is, shall the amendments to the bill be adopted? All those in favor, state by saying. Okay, good gentleman from 11.
Mr. Chairman, I wod like a call for division.
3 must rise. Will be division.
You
All
can't,
those in favor of the
can't
amendment,
see it.
please rise.
And he's going to say, yeah, well, we got enough. Public won't see it. Count his fingers. You gotta have 36. But, yeah.
Thank you. All those opposed, please rise. The motion has not carried, and the amendment to the bill is not adopted.
Oh my goodness.
Good gentleman from 22.
The anti-vaxxers in
Thank you, Mr.
Idaho
Chairman. I move that
won.
when the committee rise, it report has had report to the House that has had under consideration Senate Bill 1210 as amended, and report it back with amendments and without recommendation.
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
Heard the motion. All those in favor say by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Good gentleman from 22.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee rise and report.
Mr. Chairman, I second the motion.
You've all heard the motion. All those in favor say by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carried, and the committee as a whole is dissolved.
Oh my goodness. And businesses will more than likely be liable, and the lawyers will be very, very, very much there to help somebody that files suit against the business. I call that a lawyer-friendly bill. I can say this. You know, it's incredible to me how many people think that they're doctors and they know viruses. And that's what this is all about. Idaho has the distinction of having the fewest children vaccinated. Only 20% or 80% are vaccinated. 20% are not vaccinated. Highest not vaccinated children in the United States. These people are medically challenged, or at least science challenged, in my opinion. And this guy here is part of it. And he's been there 28 years in one of the 70 seats, Mike Moyle. He's the guru of the legislature. Corporations don't have CEOs that stay in power that long. And he controls $13 billion in Idaho taxes out of that legislature. It runs 94 days versus Utah, which is only 45 days. They have 600 bills. These guys push through, and even with the amendments, 1,455 last time I counted. And it costs the taxpayer $70,000 a day to keep the legislature open. And a lot of these bills come from ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. Charles Koch, the billionaire.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we as your committee as a whole report back that we've had under consideration Senate Bill 1210 as amended and report it back with recommendations as amended.
Good late from 18.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Thank you, late for the motion. All those in favor say aye. Oh, never mind. You did.
Yeah,
already. Go ahead.
You guys got me. You guys are a little fast. Mr. Speaker, I move that the report be adopted.
How are you at?
What I said before.
You did good. We're all tired. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion passes, and Senate Bill 1210 as amended will be filed for the first reading calendar, and House Joint Memorial 2, House Bill 387, House Bill 437, House Concurrent Resolution 19, House Bill 379, and Senate Bill 1066 as amended will be retained on general orders. Without objection, the House will now advance to the 15th order of business, announcements. The House at the 15th order of business. We're going to go at ease now for a minute while the clerk moves everything around. So the House will be at ease, subject call chair.
94th day. Doesn't have to be 94 days. It really doesn't. That guy there sitting in that chair, and Crane, and Guthrie, Anthony, those guys, I bet, combined have 150 years. Well, I'm probably exaggerating, but it's not right. And you want to talk about the Founding Fathers. They didn't intend for these guys to stay in there 28 years in one of the 70 seats. And how's it done? Money. Corporate lobby and PAC money. And all these resolutions, 83 of them, you know, thanking the John Birch Society guy down there in Twin Falls. And Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death. It's ridiculous. I hope you're enjoying the circus.
Clerk will mark the sheet, members will cast a vote. Monks. Has every member voted? Does any member change their vote? Clerk will lock sheet, record the roll. 51 ayes, 19 absent and excused, the majority having, more than 2/3 of the majority having voted in favor of the motion passes, and the House will have under consideration Senate concurrent resolution number 113, conjunct 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to dispense with further reading of Senate Concurrent Resolution 113.
Unanimous consent has been requested. Is there objection? Hearing none, the gentleman has the floor to present the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill has always been considered one of the going home bills. It keeps the lights on with regards to our rules, those rules that we approved. It accepts all of those ones with the exceptions of the ones that the committees had rejected. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'd ask for your green light.
You've heard the motion. The discussion on the motion. Hearing none. And hearing no negative debate, debate is closed. Question is, shall Senate concurrent resolution 113 pass the House? Since this involves rules that expend money, there'll be a roll call vote. Clerk will mark sheet, members will cast their votes. Has every member voted? Has any members changed their vote? Clerk will lock the sheet and record the roll. 51 ayes, 19 absent and excused, more than majority having voted in favor of Senate concurrent resolution number 113. Senate concurrent resolution number 113 is passed the House. Correction to title.
No correction to title.
Hearing none, the title is approved, and the concurrent resolution will return to the Senate. Gentlemen, 22.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent to the roll call used for suspension of rules on Senate Concurrent Resolution 113 now be used for the suspension of rules on Senate Bill 1210 as amended in the House, making it possible for the immediate consideration of Senate Bill 1210 as amended in the House.
Unanimous consent has been requested. Is there objection? Hearing none, the roll call used suspension of rules on Senate concurrent resolution number 113, where 51 ayes, 19 absent and excused. The rules are suspended, and the House will have under consideration Senate Bill 1210 as amended in the House. Could gentleman from 8.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Request unanimous consent to dispense with further reading of Senate Bill 1210 as amended.
Unanimous consent requested. Is there objection? Hearing none, gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the third and hopefully final iteration of the House, or the Medical Freedom Act here. They say third time's the charm, so I hope we'll do good here. We had a long, good debates over the times in the committee hearings, on the floor, and in good negotiations the last few days between different parties here. And as you saw here, we put these amendments in to address some of the final concerns here. The first one, dealing with some school issues, that one school might be left out, the way it was worded. And then we fixed a part dealing with some regulations that were passed through House Bill 290 earlier this session, so that was kind of left out because that bill's still coming through and in terms of being applied to current code. And then lastly, they talked about the new law where healthy people can't be excluded because they haven't been vaccinated in different situations. So I think we cleaned it all up. I think we addressed different concerns of different parties, and I'd love to have your green light to really make Idaho the place where all individuals can experience health freedom and respect for their medical decisions. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, for debate on the motion. Hearing none, hearing no negative debate. I needed not ask. Good gentleman, 16.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, to debate against.
Gentleman has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and friends. Despite the amendments, despite this being the third time that we've seen this legislation, it remains deeply flawed. Just go down and read through the bill, look at the definition of medical intervention. It's still the same overly broad definition. You can't diagnose, you can't prevent, you can't cure. Businesses can't refuse a service or a product based on a medical intervention. Businesses cannot require a medical intervention of their employees. And on page 3, line 28, we're actually telling businesses and local counties how to compensate their employees. And there's a small exception in here on page 3, line 28, regarding what's a traditional medical intervention, or you can accept industry standards. But the problem with this is it's retrospective. We're looking backwards. We're not letting businesses have the opportunity to look forward, to adopt innovations, to respond to new healthcare crises. And so effectively what this bill does is it ties the hands of Idaho businesses who have the duty to protect their customers and their employees, We're telling them what they can and can't do. And I'll tell you, this is just going to hurt retailers, it's going to hurt producers, it's going to hurt manufacturers, it's going to hurt our economy. And if you look at all the mandates and everything else in here, this really feels like a big government bill, if you ask me. And it also feels like an anti-business bill. And so for the record, on this last day with this last bill, I want to make it clear that there's an Idaho Democrat standing up for business, standing up for small government, and standing up for families impacted by what we're going to start carrying around in this state with this kind of regulation. So with that, Mr. Speaker, I request everyone's no vote.
Further debate on motion? Hearing none. Gentleman from 8, carry to close.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we all know where we stand on the issue here. I hope you will support this bill and make Idaho a great state, an even better state to live in than it already is. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Debate's closed. Question is, shall Senate Bill 1210 as amended in the House, pass the House? Clerk will lock the machine and record the vote. Members will record the votes. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Clerk will lock the machine and report the pairs.
Boyle votes aye. Raymond votes nay. Clow votes aye. Furman votes nay. Horman votes aye. Raybold votes nay. Manwaring votes aye. Matthias votes nay. Andrus votes aye. McCann votes nay. Skog votes aye. Mickelson votes nay. Cornelis votes aye. Weber votes nay. Hill votes aye. Wheeler votes nay. Healy votes aye. Nelson votes nay. Burgoyne votes aye. Galaviz votes nay.
44 ayes, 23 nay, 3 absent and excused. The majority having voted in favor of Senate Bill 1210 as amended in the House. Senate Bill 1210 as amended in the House. Pass the House. Correction title.
No correction to title.
Hearing none, the bill will be transferred to the Senate. With that, the House will now advance to 15th order of business announcements. The House at the 15th order of business. Are there any announcements? Good gentlemen from 22. We probably ought to send some committees.
I would love to send the committees, Mr. Speaker, but I have no idea who's on the committees. Mr. Speaker, move or asking items consent. Mr. Speaker, asking items consent to form 2 committees, one to notify the governor, and one to notify the gentleman on the second floor, and one to notify the Senate that we are ready to finish our business for the year.
Thank you, gentlemen. Now it's been requested. Is there objection? Hearing none. The committee to wait upon the governor will be Representative Palmer, Miller, and Achilles. They're excused to go. And the committee waiting upon the Senate will be Cannon, Hawkins, and Gannon, and they're also excused to go. While they're doing their business, we'll be at ease for a moment.
Pay attention to who just voted for that medical. It's an anti-vax bill. That's all it is. And those 24 for 42 that voted for this, 42, good grief. As far as I'm concerned, are medically challenged. It has nothing to do with freedom. There used to be an old expression, your freedom ends at my nose. And the thing is, with these diseases, like measles, like tuberculosis, like polio, like COVID, the viruses, those things, those vaccines extended the life from age 49 in 1900. Then they came out with smallpox vaccine. to 77 a day. It was 79, but 1.2 million Americans died in COVID, thanks to the screw-ups of President then Trump, making it a Democratic, the virus was a Democratic hoax. And then Trump turned around and sent testing equipment to his buddy Putin. And Putin said, well, don't tell anybody. We got some real problems here. And Idaho has some serious problems with people that are not very knowledgeable and in control of $13 billion. And then you have Mr. Moyle there. It's been there for 28 years. In 1995, the Citizens Initiative, 61% of the vote, passed 8-year term limits, so that you can only serve 8 years in the House and 8 years in the Senate, total of 16. Well, in 2002, they pulled a dog and pony show with the governor, vetoing it. Then they brought it back and they had 2/3 vote. So it enables these guys to become permanent legislators, because the money that they have comes in from corporate lobbies and PACs. Thousands, $64 million. In fact, the Secretary of State said $17 million is funneled into the 105 legislative seats. 17 million. And from inside and outside Idaho, that's a lot of money for a part-time job. And it's not part-time job. I think these guys make more money being in the legislature than they do in a regular job. Well, anyway, that's what I've learned a lot since Mark Nye, the state senator, asked me to run against Guthrie. And then I make these videos and watch these people. And you can learn a lot by watching them, and then also listening to what they say over the period of 94 days right now. 94 days. And then the reason they repealed the term limit says we just can't find anybody out of 55,000 people that are willing to take off 94 days.
No point of order. Continue.
I'm a bit offended here. Mr. Speaker, the committee waiting upon the governor has returned and will report.
Good gentleman from District 20. That was it? You didn't do it right. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate the report. You're excused. We'll be at ease while we wait for the other committee, and then hopefully we can get the computer to work, because we can't send the bill. We need to go up and down the order to send it to Senate.
Moyle just explained that they're having computer problems, and the bill that the anti-vax bill that they just passed with 42 to whatever, the anti-vaccination bill. It affects businesses and everybody else. The health bill. What is it, medical freedom bill? Boy, anything that has freedom in it, I really think that maybe they ought to choose a better word. Like, medical is going to kill you because you don't get your vaccinations. And if it does, then if somebody gets sick and you have an employer there that comes in with COVID and he gets everybody sick, he can sue you for not making, the business. And that's what Mickelson pointed out. The business that has health care insurance for their employees, somebody comes in that is not vaccinated, you can't challenge him. I mean, that's it. Oh, I ain't getting one because Bill Gates is going to be in my bloodstream, or it causes AHCD. Oh, Glenn Beck, he likes dewormer. It went down in his lungs. He lives down there in Weston, Idaho, broadcasts from his house. Anyway, it's, and now they're waiting for this in in the Senate. They're sending the bill. I guess they got computer trouble, and so now the Senate is sitting around waiting for that bill to come, the anti-vaccination bill. I guess it'll make Robert F. Kennedy Jr. happy. And then they can use this to convince, let's see, where? New York. And other states. I think Arkansas and Tennessee were the ones that had this deadly bill. So anyway, that's what's going on, and they're having computer trouble trying to send the anti-vaccination nonsense bill to the Senate so they can vote and pass it and make Robert F. Kennedy Jr. very happy, and along with Donald Trump. The last bill of 2025, anti-vax.
Are there further announcements? Good lady from 18.
Thank you, Speaker, and I'd be remiss if I didn't just send one more just warm thank you to all of you guys, all the patience as I was gone for so much of the session, but more importantly, all my buzz cut friends that I now have. Thank you for joining me in solidarity. I'll keep you guys updated. I've appreciated all the prayers, the love, the compassion that you have shown me and my family, and I just wanted to say thank you just one more time.
Thank you, good lady. We appreciate you also. Are there further announcements? Hearing none, jump 22. All right, I'm moving. House will advance 16th order of business. Adjournment, House at 16th order of business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good ladies and gentlemen, pursuant to Rule 18, I'm missing some of my friends here, and I might want to do a motion to call the House. No. Okay. Sorry about that. Not a good motion right now.
Your jacket will not protect you from the wrath of those around you.
Just thought we'd want our friends back, Mr. Speaker.
94 days.
That's why they're not here.
Mr. Speaker.
Utah's 45.
That the House do now adjourn sine die.
Good lady from 18.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion. Smell you later.
You've heard the motion. It's a non-debatable motion. All those in favor of adjourning sine die, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Nice. The House is adjourned sine die.
94 days, $70,000 a day. $1,455 bills compared to Utah's 600. Utah has a $33 billion budget. Idaho's 13.